Hi, welcome to the demonstration of managing your FortiGate cloud-native firewall with FortiManager and sending logs to FortiAnalyzer. So go to CNF instance, click on New, and select Azure to deploy. Input a name for your CNF. Here we're going to call it CNF-demo-1, and then select the region for your deployment, whether East, West, or in Europe. Those are the three regions supported. This CNF will be managed by FortiManager. You can have a standalone CNF or have it managed by FortiManager. And then for logging, there's multiple options, right? You can point it to a blob storage and other external ones. So here, for this one, we're going to utilize FortiAnalyzer for logging. So FortiManager and FortiAnalyzer provides centralized management and logging when there are more than one CNF deployed. There are integrations for FortiSandbox and FSSO connectors as well if you desire to utilize those options. So the endpoint setting is where the provider gateway load balancer connects to the standard load balancer in the customer environment. This is where you'll see all your load balancers in your Azure environment. Select the appropriate one to redirect traffic to your CNF for inspection. After all that, click OK to provision the gateway load balancer and CNF instance. This will take about 10 to 15 minutes, and then we'll come back to it after it completely initializes. Let's look at the details of CNF-demo-1 instance, and click on that to see the details. It shows the FortiManager mode is enabled, logging is to FortiAnalyzer, and at the bottom, click to display primary FortiGate information. This is only displayed when FortiManager mode is enabled. Copy that information, which are needed to add the device into FortiManager later. Next, we're going to view the configure Azure endpoints, right? This displays the load balancer endpoint forwarding traffic to CNF. So this is how you know that the FortiGate has been provisioned and the gateway load balancer will be talking to the standard load balancer in Azure. Now to add CNF into FortiManager. In FortiManager, click on Device and Groups, and then click on Add Device. Input the IP address, enable user legacy device login, enter admin information saved from primary FortiGate information from CNF, and click Next. Next to get the process going. After everything shows green, click Finish. We're not quite done importing all the information into FortiManager, so an import configuration must be executed. This encompasses the policy packages and interfaces configured on the firewall. The firewall is configured with VXLANs for communication with the gateway load balancer, in turn talking to the standard load balancer in the customer environment. After a successful configuration import, firewall policies must be created for traffic inspection on the virtual wire pair. For this demonstration, a simple block HTTP port 80 will be configured and all other traffic will be allowed. This configuration will be pushed to the firewall via the Install Wizard button. Once that's complete, we will run a couple of quick tests. An existing CNF deployment is already there to block port 80 and logging to FortiAnalyzer, which will be utilized. Here's a simple test we'll run, accessing the web browser on the VM on port 8080 and port 80. Let's start with 8080. As you can see, the pages load without any browser displaying the spinning icon in its tab. But when you try to access port 80, the request times out, as you can see for the different pages that are hosted on that VM. Let's go to FortiAnalyzer to see the logs. We'll search for the IP of the client trying to access the pages or accessing the pages. This shows all the policy violation, meaning port 80 access was denied, but access to port 8080 was allowed since our last policy is allowed all on that firewall. Here are the resources that were utilized building this demo and the environment. The FortiGate CNF administration guide, the CNF in Azure Marketplace, and Azure load balancing documentation. Thank you for watching.